All right, Geoff,
Hey, can you
welcome.
hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear.
Oh, great, 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 great.
Great to see you here. I really appreciate to have you here, Geoff. So
Well,
welcome. We are Kenesios. In English would be something like stubborn. We are like a stubborn guys. We are four
mhm.
guys from Venezuela who are big fans of rock and roll in general. And well, one of us, actually, the one who is in Italy, went to see you very recently in Europe, in Italy. He is in Italy and he went to see you. And he said that your show was amazing. The other guy's in Mexico. Another one is in Chile. And I'm in Venezuela right now. So we're really honored to have you here tonight. And of course, we can't wait to hear you about the Latin American tour that you're preparing right now.
Wow, so with the miracle of technology, we're all connected in different countries, right? All talking at
Exactly. That's what I love. That's what I love about this.
That's amazing.
Yes, yes. So, Geoff, thank you so much for being here. And of course, we need to talk, of course, about the Latin American tour that you're preparing for January. Actually, I have the dates here. And your first show is going to be in Rio de Janeiro in Brazil in January 19.
Right.
So, how are you preparing for these shows, actually?
Well, right now I'm not preparing. I'm actually we just had an American holiday yesterday called Thanksgiving, where all the
Correct.
family and friends come over and you cook a big meal and you eat.
Happy Thanksgiving, by the way.
Thank you very much. It was very relaxing and nice. And today, I'm sort of not back in the saddle, so to speak. Taking a day of recovery. But yeah, we are actively beginning rehearsals tomorrow for the upcoming tour that we're starting in America, and then we'll be coming to Rio in, or well, I guess mid-January. I guess it is the 19th. I think is the first show. We come in a
Yes.
few days earlier. Should be nice. It's summertime there, right? In January.
Yes, summertime in
Yeah.
in Rio, Chile, Argentina. You're going to Colombia as well,
Yeah.
and Peru, Costa
Peru.
Rica, Mexico. It's going to be a nice tour.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I haven't been to Peru before, so this will be a
Mm.
first time for me, which I like. I like going to new places, you know.
Yes, of course, of
But
course.
I hear
Okay.
it's very high elevation there, so it's going to be quite challenging to perform, I think, because I'm a sea level guy, right? I
Yeah, of
live
course. Me too.
normally at sea level, yeah. So it's going to be kind of a interesting transition, you know, going that high.
All right, yes, absolutely. Okay, let me translate a little bit for our
Oh, sure.
Spanish
Yeah.
speaking audience.
Hmm.
So, everything you said, well, I'm just going to make a summary of whatever everything you said. Okay, a toda nuestra gente de Latinoamérica, Jeff está muy emocionado por esta gira que va a ser va a estar en Perú, Costa Rica, México, Brasil, que en este momento, bueno, ayer celebraron el Thanksgiving, el Día de Acción de Gracias, y que bueno, ahorita, mañana va a empezar con los ensayos con la banda para empezar la gira. Van a estar primero en los Estados Unidos. El primer lugar donde se van a presentar es en Cleveland, que va a empezar ahorita el 1 de diciembre, de hecho. Así que estén pendientes porque Jeff va a estar de gira y va a estar por toda Latinoamérica, que no se está preparando el día de hoy, pero que ya a partir de mañana se va a empezar a preparar. So, what do you think of the Latin American audience, Jeff?
Oh, I think they're fantastic. Yeah, they really celebrate the music, you know, and it's wonderful to play to an audience that really embraces the music and lives and breathes it, you know. So yeah, it's a real treat to play there. Very enthusiastic audiences.
Absolutely. We get to be a little wild sometimes.
Yeah, wild is good.
Yeah, of course. I know you guys enjoy it. Okay, let me translate a little bit. Bueno, él dice que sí, que le encanta el público de Latinoamérica y que sí, que tendemos a ser un poquito salvajes, pero que él dice que salvaje es maravilloso, que seamos salvajes el público de Latinoamérica. Así que todos los que estén viendo de Latinoamérica, preparados con Geoff Tate y su banda que va a estar próximamente en Latinoamérica. Okay, Jeff, there's something that the guys wanted me to ask you. Next year, 2023, it's going to be the 35th anniversary of Operation Mindcrime. I mean,
Mm.
that actually, it's one of the greatest albums of all time. It's a masterpiece that you guys created. Well, you and your former band, but I mean, is there any plans that you have personally to celebrate this anniversary? It's 35 years. My God, it's a landmark.
It is, yeah. Well, it seemed like just yesterday that I played for 2 years, touring the 30th anniversary of Operation Mindcrime, and now it's 35 years. Wow. Well,
Yeah,
I
well,
think,
the pandemic
yeah,
hit.
yeah,
That's the
kind of
thing.
took everything back a year or so. Yeah, we're kind of just catching up now. Yeah, so, we have some plans to play Mindcrime in its entirety in the UK starting this summer. And I think after that, we're going to be moving into some other places to play it as well. It really just depends on the demand, you know, for promoters wanting to, you know, bring the show to, you know, their region. So, yeah, I look forward to playing. I love playing the album. It's fantastic to play. And the audiences seem to really enjoy it as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. Okay, let me say a little bit in Spanish. Él dice que bueno, que sí, que no lo puede creer que ya sean 35 años. Bueno, obviamente se metió la pandemia porque él dice que hace poquito estaba celebrando el 30 aniversario, los 30 años, ya toca el 35 aniversario y bueno, él dice que sí, que Operation Mindcrime va a estar celebrándolo en Europa, va a tocar el disco en su totalidad y que pues que no lo puede creer que ya sean 35 años. Okay, I got another question about Operation Mindcrime. You know, do you ever thought that you guys thought that it was going to be as successful as it was, that it's included in the top 100 rock records of all time? Do you ever thought, when you were creating that album, did you ever thought about that?
No, never. You know, when you're creating something, you know, you try to make it where you love it and you like it, and which I think we accomplished that. I can only speak for myself. I love that album, and I put everything I had into creating that record. And I knew I liked it when it was finished, and I was happy with the outcome of it. But then what happened afterwards is always completely out of your control. You know, you just can't imagine how the world is going to embrace it. And the world did, you know, people really were moved by the album, influenced by the album, and it still sounds good today, you know.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's one of the greatest, like I told you, one of the greatest albums of all time. That's for sure. Okay, let me translate a little bit. Él dice que sí, que bueno, que él nunca se imaginó que fuera de ser tan exitoso, que cuando uno está creando algo en el estudio, no se imagina esas cosas que uno tiene, que uno está creando y uno espera que sea para lo mejor. Y bueno, él se sorprendió también del éxito que tuvo Operation Mindcrime y de verdad que, bueno, ha sido todo un reto y de verdad que él todavía le gusta tocar el disco, que le gusta, lo disfruta y de verdad que es algo genial. I want to remind all the people that is watching us, if you want to ask questions to Geoff, you're welcome to do it. You just have to ask here in the boxes, okay? So let's see. We have a question actually here, which I think is very interesting because one of the questions I have about that album. Any plans to play your solo project from 2002? Love that first solo record.
I have played some songs from that record live. I'd love to play more. Yeah, I'd love to play songs from all my records, but I think I would have a very long concert. Yeah, it's for the set that we're doing in America starting next week. We are playing quite a few new tracks that I haven't had in the set for a long time, or some of them. One of them I had never played live before, which I'm looking forward to. It's funny to think, you know, that I have quite a few songs that I've never played live. You know, I'd like to rectify that in the next few years by playing more, you know, obscure albums, things that maybe people haven't heard before. A lot of people don't know that I've made records past Empire.
Yeah.
I get that question a lot. You know, what have you been doing since Empire? You know.
Nah, come on. You have a long career. You have
Yeah.
done a lot, actually.
21 records, yeah. 21.
Yeah, I mean, I have followed your careers well, actually since Empire, because when Empire came out, I was 10 years old. You can guess my age, more or less. And of course, I still remember the video that I must remember watching on Headbangers Ball. I remember it was I,
Right.
from the following record, which I love that song, by the way. I am
But can you
I.
remember the name of the album?
Ah, well, it's the name of the album. Yeah, yeah. Let me remember. It's Promised Land. Promised Land.
Promised Land, yeah.
Yeah, Promised Land. Yeah, yeah. Well, I think that was one of the last videos before Headbangers Ball was canceled. I think that it played there because I remember seeing there in Headbangers Ball.
Yeah, I don't remember when that show ended, but
Yeah.
yeah, I think we did 3 videos for that album. I, Bridge, and Disconnected were the 3 that we did.
Yes.
And Disconnected was probably one of my favorite videos I ever did. It was really fun to make and very challenging as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. Bueno, le estaba preguntando a Jeff sobre que le comenté sobre el video de Am I, que fue uno de los últimos que yo vi en Headbangers de Queensryche, que de hecho mucha gente le pregunta a él que si él ha tenido una carrera después de Empire. Por supuesto que sí, él tiene una carrera muy amplia y sí, la gente tiene que saber que él tiene muchos discos, no solamente con Queensryche, sino con solista, con Sweet Oblivion, que ya le vamos a preguntar también por eso. Y que bueno, de ese disco Promised Land salieron unos 3 videos que él no recuerda si Headbangers o MTV los puso, pero yo sí sé que I sí salió en Headbangers Ball. Okay, Jeff, let's go now to your recent album, which is by Sweet Oblivion, of course, Relentless. How has been the reception for that album, which is your latest album?
It's good, yeah, really good. It was a fun record to make, and I'm actually beginning to work on the 3rd Sweet Oblivion record right now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm really excited about beginning that as well.
So yeah, that was one of my other questions. It's going to be a Sweet Oblivion, or it's going to be a solo album? So you say it's Sweet Oblivion.
Well, it's going to be the 3rd Sweet Oblivion album.
Oh, yeah. Nice.
We did one called Sweet Oblivion. We did one called Sweet Oblivion Relentless, and the 3rd one is yet to be titled yet.
Okay, so do you have a release date, or
no,
still recording?
Just beginning working on it now, yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah, because a lot of people is asking on the comments that when it's coming up, and so we know it's not coming out yet. We have to wait.
Yep, we have to wait. I'm waiting too.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, sí, Jeff va a estar trabajando en un nuevo disco de Sweet Oblivion. No hay fecha de lanzamiento todavía porque apenas lo está produciendo, grabando, escribiendo, y que la receptividad del más reciente, Relentless, que salió en el 2021, ha sido muy buena y que está muy feliz y que ha estado tocando canciones de ese disco. Okay, here's an interesting question, Jeff. Would you ever consider playing The Warning in its entirety, which is the very first Queensryche album?
Yeah, we've been asked that by a couple of different promoters as of late, to play the album in its entirety, and we've actually my band and I have been rehearsing some of the songs off that to see how they feel live. It could be a possibility, yeah.
Yeah, because I also wanted to ask you about not only The Warning, but Rage for Order. There's a lot of songs in those albums that your voice is, well, of course, amazing, as I always say, because you have an amazing voice. But of course, years pass, and the voice, our voice, when you get older, it gets to be, a little down. So is it challenging for you to sing those songs from both of those albums, The Warning and Rage for Order?
Yeah, very challenging. Yeah. Well, those were albums that I recorded when I was in my early 20s. So yeah, going back to that age and performing that material is very, very challenging. But I enjoy it, and I've been having a great time with Rage for Order on this last tour, performing Rage for Order and Empire, both albums in their entirety. It's just been a heck of a show, and I've loved it because, again, there's quite a few songs on Rage for Order I never got to play live before, and a couple songs on Empire that I never played live before either until this last tour. So that was a real treat for me to finally, play them live, which is kind of like when you create a song, you always envision yourself playing it live, I think, and it's weird that you don't get to do that all the time, Strange.
Absolutely, absolutely. Okay, so for our Latin American audience, Jeff dice que sí, que es muy desafiante cantar estas canciones de Rachel for Order y Warning, porque bueno, él estaba en sus 20 años, o empezando los 20 años cuando empezó a cantar este disco, y estos dos discos, por cierto, Warning y Rachel for Order, y que bueno, que él a pesar de que disfruta eso, por supuesto que es desafiante cantar estas canciones y que no es nada fácil, es un registro bastante alto. Okay, Jeff, what would be the most complicated song for you to sing right now? I'm talking right now, year 2022, for you to sing from Rage for Order. What would be the most difficult one for you to sing?
Right now, this morning,
or let's say on this tour.
All of them.
All right.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, it's a pretty challenging record. It probably the second song on the album, My Dream in Infrared, is probably the most strenuous, I would say. Yeah, it takes me several hours of warming up before I attempt to sing that song.
Yeah. Yeah, I understand. Absolutely. Ok, Jeff dice que sí, que es bastante difícil cantar cualquier canción de Rage for Order y de Warning. Son demasiado complicadas porque, bueno, es su registro vocal, pero que él disfruta mucho cantándolas y que sí, que él tiene que calentar la voz y que obviamente es difícil para él estar, por supuesto, tratando de cumplir con este disco. Okay, let's get a question from the audience. And over here we have, what is your best story from the Monsters of Rock tour with Motley Crue?
Motley Crue?
Yeah,
yeah, they were.
They were there?
They were on that tour, weren't they?
Oh, all right.
I don't really have any stories of them particularly. Primarily, that tour was it was a big tour. It had AC/DC headlining it, and who else was Metallica on it? I can't remember.
I think so. Yeah, they were there. That was 91.
91, yeah. It was
that was the Empire tour.
Those kind of tours are somewhat chaotic because you have all these different bands and everybody's moving in different times, traveling in different ways, and you just basically show up and do the show. You don't get a sound check or anything like that. So we call it a throw and go. You just throw your stuff up on the stage and you go with the show, right? And
absolutely.
And hopefully, your crew and everybody is so professional and used to that they can make sense of it all and put on a good show for the audiences, But the shows were just huge, and all of them were, I think the smallest show we did, the smallest attendance was like 40,000, something like that. All the rest of them were much more than that. The biggest show I ever did was with the Rock in Rio Festival in 90.
Oh, yeah.
That was as well at the stadium in Rio there. Is it Maracano Stadium?
Maracana, yes.
Yeah, that was amazing. So that was my first time I rode in a helicopter.
Oh yeah.
You couldn't get through the streets. You had to go by helicopter to get to the site because it was just too crowded. There was millions of people in the streets, and I think there were 250,000 people in the stadium.
Yes. One of the biggest stadiums in the world. Yeah. And probably you guys felt like the Beatles in that moment.
Well, I don't know about that, but it was definitely strange because usually when you're on the stage, you can see the audience. You couldn't see the audience in this situation. You could hear them. They were very, very loud, but the distance between the edge of the stage and where the audience began was 100 yards, which is the length of an American football field, right?
Absolutely.
And in that space were all the cameras and the press people and all that, and then the audience, right? So you didn't see the audience, you could just hear them, and you basically played your show for the camera. It was bizarre. First time I experienced something like that, but it was definitely the loudest show I think I've ever attended.
Amazing, amazing.
Mm.
Okay, for our Latin American audience, sí, dice Geoff que el concierto más impresionante que ha estado en su vida es definitivamente el Rock in Rio en el estadio de Maracaná del Río de Janeiro, que él prácticamente no podía escucharse porque había demasiado ruido por la audiencia y que él prácticamente se presentó ante la cámara y que tuvo que llegar en helicóptero al Maracaná porque de verdad que no podía pasar, había demasiada gente en las calles y que había en el estadio 250,000 personas, era demasiado, una locura, y dice que es el más grande de todos. Y bueno, y hablando de lo de Motley Crue, dice que no tiene historia sobre Motley Crue, que prácticamente en esa gira él prácticamente llegaba, él y ellos llegaban, Queensrÿche llegaba, se presentaba y seguían hacia al próxima ciudad. Okay, Geoff, I do have a question about you participated in 1985 in this wonderful, wonderful project, Hearing Aid, with the late, great Ronnie James Dio, that we all miss, of course, and I'm pretty sure that he was a really good friend of yours. It seems that that project, apparently, the rumor I heard is that it's going to be re-released finally after a lot of years. Do you have any information about that?
I don't. No, I haven't heard that, but that would be amazing. I think it really would be something special. Yeah, it was very special to be part of it. And I was very, very young at the time. I think we'd just done one album, The Warning, and we were getting ready to do Rage for Order. And Ronnie called me and asked me if I'd like to participate in this project. And I said, of course, whatever you want, Ronnie, because Ronnie was kind of my hero, you know. And so I flew down to LA to be part of it, and it was an incredible experience. It was so frightening in a sense, if you can imagine. You're just this young kid, and you walk into the studio, and all of these amazing musicians are gathered there, and quite a few of them are in the studio while you're doing your vocal tracks, right? And they're all like, how's he doing, you know?
Was it frightening for you too?
I was so nervous. I couldn't hardly think. I was so nervous, you know. But I think it turned out okay, and Ronnie was very supportive, and you know, he gave me a big pep talk, you know, beforehand, and he was a wonderful mentor, you know, a great teacher and a wonderful person. I miss him.
Oh yeah, we all miss him. He was one of the greatest. I mean, I think I prefer the Black Sabbath records with him than the. Of course, I love Ozzy too, but Ronnie's records with Sabbath are just top. And you actually recorded a song from Ronnie, I think, on the Takeover album. I'm not correct. Yes.
Yeah.
Was it Neon Nights, right?
Neon Nights, yeah.
Yeah,
I played it live a couple of times too. That's a fun song to play. Fun song. I was actually very lucky to be asked to open for Heaven and Hell when they were doing their last tour with Ronnie and the original band all together, with Tony and Geezer and man, how special
Vinny.
That I couldn't. Yeah, Vinny was playing drums with them.
Yes.
And I couldn't believe how loud they were. And they were old school loud, like the wall of Marshalls, you know, behind Tony Iommi was real, and it was all plugged in and all going at the same time. In fact, I used to have hair, but I stood in front of his speaker cabinets one night, and you know, it all went away.
Oh, nice. What a nice.
And to compensate for that, you know, Ronnie had to have, you know, speaker monitors to equal Tony's Marshall amps, and so he had a kind of like a half circle of floor wedges surrounding him. I think there were like 15 or 20 of these wedges all around him, and he had kind of this half circle of him, you know, coming through. It was great.
Wow, amazing. Okay, let me tell a little bit in Spanish. Para nuestra audiencia de Latinoamérica, sí, él estaba recordando a Ronnie James Dio, que él estuvo en Hearing Aid, esa canción que fue para como We Are the World, pero la versión metal. Y que sí, que él tiene muy buenos recuerdos, que se sintió un poco nervioso porque habían otros grandes músicos ahí cuando fue a grabar este tema en particular, y que bueno, no tiene información de si se va a relanzar por fin, no tiene esa información, pero es lo que escuché yo personalmente, lo escuché por ahí, de que probablemente haya una remasterización de Hearing Aid y que la podamos escuchar y ojalá salga de de esa manera. Okay, Geoff, going back to Take Cover, the covers album you did. Yesterday was the 31st anniversary of the death of one of the greatest, for me, one of the greatest singers of all time, Freddie Mercury. And you guys recorded Innuendo. So I wanted to ask you about recording Innuendo for this album. Was it your decision? And what took you to decide to choose to record this song in particular?
Well, we all in the band picked songs that we wanted to record. And we tried to give everybody the freedom to pick whatever song they wanted to do. But we tried to give each version we did our own kind of special twist, you know. And I think Michael Wilton really wanted to play Innuendo. He quite loved the guitar work on it, and he did a fantastic job on it. I think it sounds amazing. And I was really unfamiliar with the song to start out with, and he showed it to me, and I fell in love with it. It's a great song. Very interesting melody structure and compositionally, it's a fantastic piece of work. And it was very fun to sing. And it was also kind of a very fun project because you really got to see everybody in the band, their musical choices that they wanted to do, you know, some really unexpected choices, I think. And yeah, I think that album turned out it was really fun, I think, and we needed to do something fun at that time in our career, I think, you know.
Absolutely. Wow, that's an amazing cover, by the way. I love the way you sing, and of course the instrumentation is awesome, but the way you sing, you nail it completely. And Freddie is proud. I'm pretty sure Freddie is proud out there. Absolutely. Ok, le pregunté sobre Innuendo, el cover que hicieron para Take Cover, el disco ese de covers que sacó Queensryche. Y él dice que la decisión de grabar esa canción en particular fue de Michael Wilton, que él ama la canción y que de hecho él no estaba tan familiarizado con Innuendo, pero que Michael Wilton se la presentó y se enamoró del tema, y de hecho, bueno, es una gran canción y ellos disfrutan mucho haciéndola, así que, bueno. Geoff, changing a little bit about the subject, there's a lot of people asking me, and that was one of my questions, of course. They're asking me if you still have your wine brand, Insania, you know? A lot of people is asking us right here, so they want to know if you're still doing the wine.
Yeah, I am, yeah, every year. Yeah, new vintage every year. We just released 2019, I think, is just out now. We just got it back into the States for the first time in several years because, of course, the pandemic brought everything to a standstill as far as shipping goes, you know. Yeah. But, yeah, we've just got our first shipment in the United States now, and you can go to my website, and there's a button you can push that takes you to the winery in Germany, and they'll send it to you, you know.
Is it sent worldwide or just the state?
We make Pinot Noir and Pinot Grigio.
Oh, nice. Is it sent? It could be sent worldwide or just the States?
Yeah, we sell it worldwide. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
But we just, for the first time in several years, got it into the United States, so you can buy it locally now. You know, if you live here. You know.
Absolutely. Ok, por supuesto, una pregunta que no podía faltar era la de Insania, la marca de vino de Geoff, y él dice que sí, que ya acaba de salir la versión 2019, que ya se puede conseguir en el website de él, GeoffTate.com, y que la pueden adquirir por ahí. Sí, hay para todo el mundo, pero en Estados Unidos ya se puede adquirir localmente. Okay, I just want to remember all the people that is watching us that you can ask your question in the question box. Well, let's pick another question from the audience. And here's, well, this is actually a question that a lot of people is asking. Will you come on tour to South America? What countries do you want to visit? Well, of course, you're going to tour in South America. Is there any chance you come to Ecuador? But I don't see Ecuador actually in the audience. I mean, in the list of cities that you're going to visit.
I've never been to Ecuador. Love to. Actually, it's my goal in life to go to every country in the world. I've been to 65 now, and Peru will be 66. So I'm looking forward to that. Yeah. But I'd
And
love to come
Costa.
to Ecuador. We just need a promoter there, you know.
Oh yeah, sure, sure. And have you been in Costa Rica before as well?
Oh no, Costa Rica I haven't been to either. So it would be 67. Yeah,
67. Yeah, that's what I was
yeah.
going because you're going to Costa Rica.
And I guess I'm like a little bit more than halfway there as far as country. Was there 139 countries now, something like that?
Oh yeah, something like that. Yeah, you know, with the when the Soviet Union separated and the what's the other Yugoslavia, a lot of countries came out. So,
Yeah, I think when the Soviet Union busted apart, there was probably what 10 or 15 countries that came out of that.
yeah, exactly. So you need to add those countries in the list as well. Yes. Okay, so for Latin American audience, nunca ha estado en Ecuador, pero que bueno, que le encantaría ir a Ecuador. En esta gira lamentablemente no está Ecuador en la lista, pero que va a ir por primera vez a Perú y a Costa Rica. Va a estrenarse Geoff en esa gira. Well, Geoff, I don't know. Well, let's see. I think this is a very typical question that you get asked a lot, and if you don't want to answer that, it's okay, but a lot of people is insisting that about this. I'm sure you're tired of hearing this, but do you ever speak to Chris DeGarmo?
Yeah, I do occasionally. Yeah.
Okay.
But not for a couple of years. Mm-hmm.
Okay, he's completely retired from music. He's focused on he's a pilot or something.
As far as I know, yes, he is. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, you have like a cordial relationship with him.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, we don't speak regularly, but we, you know, correspond every few years. You know, hey, what's up? You know.
Yeah, of course. Okay, here's another interesting question, and this is another question I wanted to ask you. How's the backstage travel pass for Ireland? Sounds very interesting. And of course, are you going to offer meet and greet packages, VIP packages on this tour?
Yeah, we do. Limited meet and greet. But my wife and I started this strange company several years ago called Backstage Pass Travel, and it's kind of a travel company. And we take people around to different places in the world and show them the sights. And it really appeals to a lot of people that have never traveled overseas, for example, and are kind of questioning, oh, what do I do? You know, it sounds too complicated. Well, we take the complexity out of the equation for you. You just show up and we take care of you and show you a great time. And it revolves around music. There's music every day, all the time. The guitars come out. We have Backstage Pass Travel in Ireland. We have Italy. We have France. We have Germany. We have Montana in the United States, Scotland, and we go to all these places and take you with us.
Nice.
Yeah, it's really very fun, and I have a good time. It's like a week-long meet and greet, in a sense.
Ooh,
so
nice.
We do sightseeing and we go to these different places, castles and strange little pubs in the middle of nowhere. Yeah, it's definitely a unique experience that you could go on our website, Backstage Pass Travel, and look at all the photos and the videos and different people enjoying themselves. And it might appeal to you. And I hope it does. And I hope you see it on one of our tours.
Of course. I always love the meet and greet packages, you know. But do you have a regular meet and greet package? Like, okay, the day of the show that you probably meet the people, take a photo or something?
Yeah, I do that. Yeah, occasionally. Yeah.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I would like at some point, if I can catch a tour, which I really hope I can do, to have that experience with you. I would like to at least take a photo or something. I would love to.
Sure. Yeah, we could do a screenshot right now.
Oh yeah, well, right now, of course, we're gonna do a screenshot.
I can't get that close to you, but I could get up and down. You know.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I'll make a screenshot later on. Yeah, because this interview will later go on YouTube and it's gonna stay here on Instagram, so we have time for that. Don't worry about it. Okay. Let's get another question from the audience. Let's see. All right. Let's see. Hello, Geoff. I have recorded a remake of I Will Remember for my next album, Imagica. Hope you like it. It's Antonio Giorgio Gold. Well,
nice. Thank you.
Nice.
I'd like to hear
it. Of course. So At some point, you will have to hear it at some point. Let's get another one. Will you do a tour playing the whole Warning album, the same you done with Rage and Operation? Well, we already asked you this question, but you said yes, it's a possibility.
Yes, it may be a possibility, yeah.
Absolutely. So, okay, let's change a little bit. Let's talk a little bit about American Soldier, that concert album you did, which was, you did it based on experience of different soldiers who went to war, of course, and your dad was a war veteran, of course.
Mm-hmm.
So what can you tell me a little bit about the concept about this this great album, and how do you create this album?
Yeah, good question. Well, it started with me spending the afternoon with my dad, and he was telling me about his war experiences, which he'd never opened up and talked about before. And I turned on my tape recorder and recorded him talking, telling the stories. And I was asking him all these questions about it because I was really curious about this part of his life, because he never shared it really. And when I got home from my visit, I was playing the tape back for my wife, and she said, you got to write a song about this. It's really amazing stuff. And I got to thinking about it, and it seemed like the subject matter was such that it deserved an entire record, And so I started doing interviews with other soldiers and that I met in my travels, and those soldiers introduced me to other soldiers, which I took their stories as well. And I wrote the album around their experiences and what they felt about warfare and how they dealt with it, and the commonalities that soldiers share, no matter what the conflict is or what country they're fighting in or this kind of thing, which I found to be really interesting, and incredible stories of human achievement, human suffering, dedication to a belief system. This is amazing context, And so, so I talked to the other guys in the band about it, and they liked the idea, and we started making the record. And it's called American Soldier, and it's a pretty heavy album, heavy in the emotional heaviness, right?
Yeah, well, actually, we have a comment here. It says, I can't listen to American Soldier without crying. Thank you, Geoff. Patrick Romano says that. Yeah. I mean, it's very emotional, of course, because as we all know about, Vietnam and all those wars that were unfortunate, but it's reality, and you told a story, and that was amazing. We really appreciate that.
One of the things I found kind of interesting was that in my interviews, I talked to people from World War II, the Vietnam conflict, Afghanistan, Somalia, all these different, military conflicts, and their stories, the soldier stories, were very similar, no matter what era they were fighting in or what age they were. And I thought that was really interesting, that they all shared a commonality of experience, and I think that came across in the lyrics of the album.
Nice. Okay, for our Latin American audience, bueno, le pregunté a Geoff sobre American Soldier, este disco que se basó en las historias que su papá, que es veterano de guerra, le contó sobre las guerras, y que, bueno, él decidió grabar a su papá preguntándole toda clase de cosas, porque dice que su papá nunca se lo había contado, y que de pronto un día se lo contó, y entonces él y su esposa escucharon las grabaciones y dijeron, Geoff, ella le dice a Geoff, tú deberías de pronto grabar un disco o una canción sobre esto. Y Geoff dijo, no, yo creo que mejor un disco. Y sí, y dice que, bueno, que es difícil escuchar ese disco sin llorar, porque es un disco bastante emotivo, y que, bueno, que a él le ha costado por años poder escuchar este disco completo, pues, por decirlo así. Let's see another question. Hi, Geoff. Where will you eat in Austin, Texas in December? Will you eat?
Where and what?
Where will you eat in Austin, Texas in December? Thanks, Mark Montes.
I'm undecided at the moment. I'm most likely going to hook up with my friend John Moyer, who's the bass player for Disturbed, who lives in Austin. And he likes to take me out to these kind of Tex-Mex restaurants, you know, where they have like really spicy Mexican style cuisine, which I love. So I'm leaving the choice up to him to pick for that.
Absolutely, absolutely. Okay, let's see another question right here, because there's a lot of questions, but I'm going to pick the best ones here. How was it recording with Avantasia and Tobias for a second time?
Wow. Well, actually, if they're speaking of the new album, it's the third time. I've done three projects with Tobias and the band, and it's fantastic. They're a great bunch of people to work with. And I did a world tour with them in 2019, which was insane. For people that aren't familiar with it, it's Avantasia is kind of like they tell a story, and they have a core band together, but they all have all these different guest singers who come in and help tell the story. And all the singers are like incredible singers. And Michael Kiske comes to mind. I can't think of everybody's name all of a sudden. I'm spacing on it. Jorn Lande, incredible singer.
Yes, of course, great singer.
Yeah, it's very fun because it's kind of like a camaraderie, and not really competitive, but kind of, you know.
Yeah.
As much as music can get competitive, they're kind of like that. But we have a good time, and it's really interesting albums, you know, really beautiful compositions, and I enjoy it quite a bit.
Absolutely, absolutely. Bueno, le preguntaron a Geoff por Avantasia, el disco con Tobias, y él dice que sí, que va a estar en el nuevo disco y que es muy interesante, que hay muchos cantantes invitados, entre esos está Michael Kiske de Halloween, y que, bueno, que no es por comparar, pero bueno, que sí, que hay muy buenos cantantes ahí en Avantasia y que siempre es interesante poder participar en estos proyectos y que a él le encanta poder participar en todos estos proyectos. Geoff, do you know any, since we are a Latin American account, basically, do you know any Latin rock or any band that you know or like from, I don't know, Argentina, Mexico, that you probably like?
I'm trying to think of who that would be. No, I can't remember their name. I'm going to need a teleprompter pretty soon, I think, because I can't remember.
Yeah, of course.
We toured with a wonderful band several years ago. Not several years ago, a couple of years ago, really. And I can't think of who they are. But Felipe was their bass player, and he's playing bass with me on this upcoming tour. Nice. Bruno Sa was with us. Do you know Bruno Sa Fierro, keyboard player?
It rings a bell. It rings a bell.
Yeah, I can't remember the name of the band now. Darn it. I'm sure somebody will remind me on the comments here.
Yeah, well, somebody here says Sepultura, but I'm sure it's not Sepultura.
No, we didn't tour with them. Although I've played festivals with Sepultura before.
Well, Rock in Rio, the one you played in '91, Sepultura was there.
Oh, were they?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they were there. I think they played early, much earlier than you did, but of course they were there. I remember that they were there.
Great. Yeah,
absolutely.
They're a very popular band, probably the biggest band from Latin America, right? Metal band.
Yeah, at least the greatest metal band from Latin America. I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure. Sepultura, of course. Absolutely.
Right.
Ok, Jeff le pregunté que si conocía alguna banda de rock latino, pero dice que bueno, que no se acuerda de los nombres, que sí se fue de gira hace 2 años con una banda que no recuerda el nombre, que lo disculpen, que no recuerda el nombre, y que bueno, que Sepultura no es, pero que sí, que él ha hecho festivales con Sepultura y que sí, que disfruta hacer esos festivales con Sepultura. I was apologizing to all the Latin American people that you don't remember the name of the band, but of course, it's not easy. I know it's not easy because I mean you have toured with a lot of bands, and it's not easy to remember that.
Yes, I wish I could remember everything that ever happened to me. I wish I wrote it all down. I keep a pretty good journal, but again, it's only my perspective, you know, from what I experience.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, here's another question that one of our guys, actually Tama, who is in Italy, he wanted me to ask you. How was releasing Empire during the grunge new tendencies, well, the grunge era on that moment? Of course, you guys are from Seattle. And how was when you look at that, all the grunge movement, you know, all the Nirvanas, Pearl Jams, Alice in Chains, and Soundgarden. But Empire, anyway, was a great, successful album. But how was it in those days?
Well, you know, although I'm from Seattle, we were really busy and traveling around the world at that time. So I wasn't really aware of what was happening in Seattle at the time until, you know, till bands started showing up on, you know, playlists and MTV and radio stations. As we traveled, we would hear, you know, these bands, and they were talking about them being from Seattle. And I had never heard of most of them. Soundgarden played some shows with us early on, opening up for us and on a couple festivals as well. But nobody else I'd rather really heard of, you know. So it was all new music to me.
Yeah, of course, of course. Bueno, para responder la pregunta de Jeff en español, sí, él dice que realmente en ese momento ellos estaban de gira con Empire y que él no se dio cuenta sino hasta un tiempo después, porque bueno, él estaba ocupado y concentrado en la gira, pero que bueno, que Soundgarden abrió para Queensrÿche y que en ese momento se dio cuenta del impacto del grunge y que bueno, que a pesar de que ellos son de Seattle, ellos siempre como que no se enteraron mucho en el momento, pero que sí después lo supieron. All right, Jeff, I have actually, here's a celebrity question, because I'm corrected, this is Ralph Cheefers, who used to be the singer from Gamma Ray, and I think I think he's the singer of Primal Fear, if I'm not mistaken. Jeff, it was a pity that we couldn't meet during the Avantasia tour shows. Hope you will be with us at the Summer Breeze in Brazil. Cheers, buddy. Ralph Cheefers. Well, thank you to Ralph Cheefers for being here.
Yeah, what a singer he is.
Oh yeah, amazing, amazing.
Yeah. I remember the band now. It's Angra.
Angra, yes,
Angra,
of course.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Angra, yeah, they're amazing. They're amazing.
They are. We did a tour with them in Europe a couple years ago, and everybody in the band is really into that. It's called Nutella, you know, the
Nutella, yes.
Yeah, the hazelnut topping, and everybody was really into that in their band. And I thought it was kind of funny. I was out shopping one day and I found a giant bucket of Nutella for sale. It would feed an army, right? So I bought a couple of those for the tour and gave them to the band, and they went crazy. And they each had their own spoon.
That's nice. Yes, because usually here in Latin America, Nutella is huge, especially for girls, actually women love. I have a couple of friends, because I was recently in the United States. I went to Vegas to see The Who, John Fogerty, Aerosmith, and Billy Idol, which were amazing shows. So bad that you weren't in Las Vegas, because if you were in Las Vegas in those days, I would have seen you. And you're gonna play in Vegas, actually, and all the time, my friends, my girlfriends from here, they always say, "Oh, bring me a Nutella jar or one of those big jars." And wow, so it's very famous. I find it really funny that you say that.
Yeah, it was funny at the time.
That's great. That's
What
great.
did you
Okay.
think of, did you like the Billy Idol show? I haven't seen him on his, I've seen
It
all of
was,
his like multiple times, but I've never seen Billy Idol. I want to do that.
well, I think the show was great, but what really impressed me was Steve Stevens. Steve Stevens, wow, he's a shredder. He's a great, great guitar player. His solo was amazing. I mean, what I really love about that show was Steve Stevens, to be honest.
Well, I always liked him back in the day because he was so inventive with his playing.
Yeah,
So he was quite a showman too. You know, he would do
yeah.
like arm movements and back spins and stuff. You know, he was very acrobatic. I like that.
Absolutely, absolutely. Ok, Jeff, por supuesto, le escribió Ralph Shippers. Por cierto, que Ralph Shippers, if you want to be with another interview, Ralph, you're welcome with us with the Necios. Of course, y bueno, Jeff dijo que sí, que Angra es la banda que él se estaba acordando que es latinoamericana que él conoce y que bueno, también lo que le hizo gracia fue que él sí se dio cuenta que Angra eran muy fanáticos a la Nutella y que él consiguió una Nutella grandísima y él la compró para regalársela precisamente a los miembros de Angra y que le hizo mucha gracia hacer eso. Y me estaba preguntando por el show de Billy Idol, le dije que bueno, que Steve Stevens es increíble y él dice que sí, que él recuerda a Steve Stevens de aquella época. Okay, Jeff, we're almost getting to the end of this interview, but let's get another question from the audience. Here's an interesting one. Any plans to add new merchandise to your website?
Yeah. Yeah, there will be new merchandise. Yeah. Every tour we add new stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, for me, I always need to get the shirt. Well, actually, as you can see, I went to Las Vegas and I get this Abbey Road shirt
Sure.
because I'm a big Beatles freak. And I actually saw Paul McCartney this year in Orlando. I saw him and it was still amazing. And some people was asking, actually, Jeff, if you have any plans to retire or you want to keep up doing it like Paul McCartney or Ringo or the Stones.
Oh, I think I'll keep traveling and singing songs until I can't do it anymore. Yeah, I really enjoy it. It's a wonderful lifestyle, and I'm very fortunate and very blessed to still be in good health and able to do it. You know, and people say, you know, to me all the time, when are you going to get a real job?
You have a real job. Your
Yeah.
job is to sing and to entertain us.
This is my job.
Yes, absolutely. And we love you for that. Absolutely, absolutely. Ok, respondiendo en español, Jeff le pregunté que, pues mucha gente lo ha preguntado aquí en el chat, que si él se piensa retirar o que él piensa hacer como McCartney, Ringo Starr y los Stones, y él dice que él va a hacerlo hasta que ya no pueda hacerlo. Así que tenemos Geoff Tate for a long time. We have Geoff Tate for a long time, still making records and all of that. And we thank you for that. Okay, Jeff, we usually like to end these interviews with, I'm going to give you two options. We call this the stubborn questions, which I give you two options and you have to pick one. If you want to elaborate, you can do it. Or if you don't want to elaborate, just say your option. Or, well, you can pick. Okay, let's start with the first one. I think this is going to be a little tough for you to pick, but whiskey or wine?
Oh, I love them both.
Yeah.
Well, wine, I like a lot of different kinds of wine. So it has a lot of variety. You know, I like white wines for breakfast and red wines for every other meal. I like Pinot Noir. You know, I love French wine, Spanish wine. Whiskey, I only like Irish whiskey.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So unless it's Irish, I'm not really interested, you know.
Okay, that's good to know. Así que bueno, Jeff dice que él le gusta todo tipo de vino, pero que el whisky solo le gusta el irlandés, así que yo creo que la opción está más que obvia. Okay, the second question. Well, I think this is going to be tough as well because it's like picking between two babies, you know. Your first solo album or your second solo album, Kings and Thieves?
Which do I like better?
Yeah.
Oh gosh, I don't know. I like them both. They're very different from each other. The first album is kind of like all the music I ever wanted to make but couldn't within the context of Queensryche, you know. And the second album was kind of we make it up on the spot, very ad lib, tons of like first takes and first ideas, you know, that you do, kind of a real immediate record. So, and a lot of it was very blues based, which I was very enamored with for quite a while. So they're very different, you know. And somebody pointed out to me that I'm about due for a third solo album, because I usually release one every 10 years.
Yeah. Well, this is a 10-year.
I didn't realize that was happening, actually. So yeah, I guess I'm kind of 1 year past my due date for a solo album, which I have most of the songs for a solo album sitting here ready to go. I just haven't finished it up yet. So.
Okay. Okay. Bueno, Geoff dice que, bueno, que es difícil escoger entre los dos álbumes porque son muy diferentes y que él tiene material para un tercer disco y que debió haberlo lanzado este año, porque él dice que cada 10 años, porque el primero salió en 2002, el segundo 2012 y que el tercero debió haber salido este año, pero que, bueno, no pudo ser posible. Okay, Geoff, let's continue with the third question. This is another one that is tough. Let's see what's your answer. Beatles or Rolling Stones?
Beatles or what?
Or Rolling Stones?
Oh, really tough again. Two of my favorite bands.
Yeah.
Favorite artists. I think I have every Stones album they ever did. And I think I have almost every Beatles album too. Yeah. I love both those bands. I can't pick.
Oh yeah, I know. It's difficult. It's difficult to pick. Mm-hmm. I understand. Well, let's see if the fourth question is easier for you, which I think is going to be hard as well. Progressive rock or heavy metal?
I don't know how to define the differences. You know, I never been good at the genre thing. You know, back when I started out, we didn't have genres like they do now. So I really wasn't restricted by having to stick with a certain genre. So I think my music kind of crosses into both, I guess, now, you know, really. Some of it's very, I guess, what people would call progressive, and some of it's very metal, some of it's very rock. Yeah. I think we kind of straddle all three genres somewhat, you know.
Yeah, Queensryche actually, some people consider it as progressive metal. Some people call Queensryche, or your style in general, progressive metal.
Yeah, or progressive metal, progressive rock metal.
Yeah,
like slashes in between everyone.
Exactly. Exactly. Sí, él dice que él de verdad no entiende mucho de eso de los géneros musicales, pero que bueno, él dice que sí, que Queensryche es como considerado rock progresivo, metal progresivo, así con bastantes slash, así por decirlo así. Okay, the fifth one, it's another tough one, but the guys wanted me to ask you. The Warning or Rage for Order?
Of my favorites? Mm-hmm. I'd say probably Rage for Order, yeah.
Rage for Order, all right.
Although I like and I love the Warning album too, primarily because it was our first record. But I think the Rage for Order is where we really became Queensryche, where we really became who we were going to be, you know. And the first album is very, it's kind of like, I don't know, kind of derivative of our influences, you know, which is expected, I guess, on a first record, really. But yeah, it's tough. Right? I'm going to go with Rage for Order, though.
Rage for Order.
Of the two, it's my favorite one, yeah.
Nice. Bueno, como ya lo escucharon, Rage for Order es la opción que agarra Geoff, porque bueno, es la que prácticamente definió lo que iba a ser Queensryche en un futuro. Okay, and the last one, two singers. Let's see which one or who is your favorite. Geddy Lee or Phil Collins?
Again,
it's a tough one,
yeah. Oh gosh, I really really, really became obsessed with the 2112 album when it came out. It had just hit the record store, and I got it on import, Japanese import vinyl at the time, and I just couldn't stop listening to it. It was so infectious, you know. And then I also got Genesis Seconds Out, their live album that they recorded in Paris in '76, I think it was. Amazing album. And then saw them play live in Seattle on the last date of their American tour for that tour. And it was incredible. I couldn't believe the stuff that Phil Collins was doing. It's so sad to see him at his age now, and he's having such severe health problems where he can't be active. You know, at the time when he was a younger man, he was an incredible showman, and he was doing these. He did a tambourine solo. Chester Thompson is laying down the backbeat, right? And Phil Collins is jumping up in the air, doing backflips, playing a tambourine at the same time, tossing it up in the air, bouncing it off the top of his head, catching it, all in rhythm, right? It was phenomenal. And everybody was standing up, cheering, and because they'd never seen anything like it, you know. And I hope that there's some video footage of that somewhere that somebody can see what he did as a young man, as a younger performer, because he was phenomenal.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure YouTube must have something about
I've never seen anything from that. I'd really like to. I'm going to go look that up now.
Yeah, me too. I'm actually very curious to see that. Okay, como dijo Geoff, para nuestra audiencia en español, sí, que él dice que, bueno, que es difícil escoger entre Geddy Lee y Phil Collins, porque él dice que se obsesionó con el 2112, el 2112, el disco de Rush, y que, bueno, que ha sido fan de Rush toda la vida, igual de Genesis, y que Phil Collins hacía unas cosas increíbles con la tamburina y con la batería, que él está buscando a ver si eso se puede conseguir en YouTube o en algún DVD por ahí. Así que bueno, yo también lo voy a buscar en algún momento. Geoff, I really want to thank you so much for your time. I really enjoyed talking to you. And well, all I have to say is that, well, tell all the people to go and see you on your upcoming tour, not only in Latin America, but in America too, in the States. And then you're going to Europe, I think I can see this here in your website. Yes, then you're going to Europe. Oh, no, sorry, Australia. You're going to Australia first, then to Europe. So, and well, let us know all your social media so everybody can follow you, of course.
Yes, and I'm so happy to be coming back to Latin America and playing. It's been a couple years now, and I hope to see everybody. We're going to start in Rio de Janeiro on January 19th, and gosh, we're coming everywhere, you know, so hope to see everybody then.
Yes, and of course, your Instagram account is this one, Geoff Tate, MC, right?
I think OMC, yeah.
Yeah, MC. That's right. That's right. Well, Geoff, thank you so much for being here with us, and it was a pleasure. I'm sorry for everyone who asked us questions, but of course we can't be here for such a long time. But and we really want to thank you, Geoff, for having the time to talk to us, and of course all your fans around the world, because we have audience. I mean, we have people from all over the world watching us right now and asking questions from the States, Latin America. So we really appreciate it. Thank you so much, Geoff, and we hope to see you again sometime.
Thank you.
And we hope to see you on tour.
Thanks, Geoff, for having me on your show. And yeah, we should do this again.
Yeah, of course. Let's see if we do something for the Operation Mindcrime 35th anniversary.
Right on. Okay, let's do it.
All right. Thank you so much, Geoff. See you around.
Adios, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.